special offers at NavyFederal.org/celebrate. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Open to the armed forces, the DoD, veterans, and their families. Insured by NCUA.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? There's a tremendous price war among the major term life companies, and rates have dropped dramatically in the past few years. For example, for a man age 45 non-tobacco user, it's $1 million of coverage at $75 per month, level rate for the next 10 years. Or a man age 50 non-tobacco user can obtain $500,000 of coverage for a monthly premium of only $110 per month, guaranteed not to change for the next 20 years. That's right, level rate guaranteed not to change for the next 20 years. If you're a smoker, we have great rates available for you as well. At Term Busters, we specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. If you're looking for a new or replacement term life insurance, call today for a quote at 1-866-929-1950. That's 1-866-929-1950. You're probably paying more than you should. Call Term Busters at 1-866-929-1950. That's 1-866-929-1950. Remember, 1-866-929-1950. Rates and availability may vary by state. Sample rate quotes for preferred non-tobacco underwriting. Exam required to qualify.
Good Wednesday afternoon. We've got a long meeting today. We're all hungry. Let's just get through this.
As you can see on the pie chart, pie.
Focus, Mary.
From the earnings report, we had some wings in September. Wings. Let's order Buffalo Wild Wings. We could concentrate better with full stomachs.
That's a game winner, Mary. You've earned yourself a promotion.
Earn yourself a promotion at your next staff meeting with Buffalo Wild Wings Pensacola large order takeout. BuffaloWildWings.com.
There's a lot going on right now, and broadcasters are on the ground covering all of it, bringing you the weather, the traffic, and breaking news, all while entertaining you 24 hours a day. Someone needs to tell you what's going on around the world and in our hometowns. And that someone is us. We are free radio. We are always there. We are broadcasters. Visit wearebroadcasters.com or text radio to 52886 to learn more. Furnished by NAB and this station.
I'm Little Teapot, short and stout.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
No, Dad, like this. When I get all steamed up, then I shout, tip me over and pour me out.
This is WWE superstar Roman Reigns. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Visit fatherhood.gov, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
This is Pensacola's hometown all-sports station and home of the Blue Wahoos, ESPN Pensacola 94.5. Catch all the Wahoos games home and away all season, plus all the latest Wahoos news from Chad Brilliante on the Sports Drive, 5 till game time weeknights. And hey, if your business would like to partner with us as an advertiser or with a local sports promotion, then give us a call at 850-262-6000 or shoot us an email from the advertise page on ESPNpensacola.com.
All sports, all the time. ESPN Pensacola, 94.5 WYCT Pensacola.
The following has been produced by Talk Football LLC. Former Florida Gators quarterback, NFL quarterback, and NFL head coach. Coach K. Stevenson has a resume second to none, and now he's sharing his insider information with you. Talk Football with Coach K starts right now on ESPN Pensacola 94.5.
ESPN Pensacola 94.5, also on your HD radio at HD2 98.7 WICT, and streaming on our website, ESPNpensacola.com. Welcome into Talk Football with Coach K. I'm Jordan Glass, joined alongside me as always, Coach K. Happy to be here on a Tuesday, and we're having some fun getting ready to talk some football over the next hour here with you. You can be a part of the show by calling into the studio line 972-1945. Again, that number 972-1945. You can also text that line. So again, if you're driving, maybe you don't want to make a phone call, you just want to pull over, send a quick text real quick, 972-1945, 972-1945. That is both our studio line that you can call and text as well. And just be a part of today's show, as we've got a lot to talk about. Coach, we'll get it started with the Oakland Raiders inside the NFL, because they've got some news coming out today. They have now signed Richie Incognito to a one-year deal. Obviously, Richie Incognito is the the infamous tackle there in the NFL, and he's been a guy who's played on the offensive line, but he's been known more for things that have happened off the field or more so in the locker room than what he's done on the field. Coach, this is a player that I would dare say 29 of the 32 teams would probably stay away from inside the NFL, but Oakland is going to give him an opportunity here to prove that he's beyond what happened. But, Coach, I don't know how this is going to work out. It's only a one-year deal, but still, 1 year is all he needs to tear that locker room apart.
Well, think of the other players that they brought in as well. You're right, and it's going to be Chuck E. Cheese is really taking a chance on that locker room. Now maybe he can handle it, and all credit should go to him if he does. But Murphy, the linebacker from Cincinnati, who stayed in trouble, and Incognito, and he's got a couple of other guys that you might, put on the scale to see which way they tip it. So that's going to be an interesting locker room, Jordan, coming up this fall. Now they're good football players. Don't get me wrong, and they can help if that's a big if everything is handled properly, and if they don't mess up the locker room. The biggest problem they could have is if they are a problem in the locker room and with the tranquility on your football team. You've got problems that you can't just solve overnight.
Right.
If you miss a block, you miss a tackle, or you make a mistake on the field, you can correct that. But if you get down, if that slope, you start going down that slope, that slippery slope of trouble in your locker room, it's tough.
And, Coach, this is something that we take a look at this Oakland Raider team. They're trying to rebuild this organization back up. They bring in guys like a Trent Brown. They bring in guys like a Antonio Brown to try to help build this roster back up. But, also with the moves like Perfect and Incognito, that could be moves that just counteract the progress they've already tried to make so far this past offseason. All right, Coach, I want to move now to college football because there's an interesting story on ESPN's college football page basically talking about the state of college football in the state of Florida. And they look at it, and it's crazy to think about. As talented as a state this is for football, as well known as of a state this is for their college football programs, whether it's Florida, Florida State, or Miami, all having long periods of success, in the late 80s into the 90s and the early 2000s. Coach, you take a look at this. The longest tenured coaches are Lane Kiffin, Butch Davis, and Charlie Strong. And they've only been at their schools at 3 years. You've got Willie Taggart and Dan Mullen going into their second year at Florida State and Florida. And then, of course, you've got Manny Diaz heading into his first season with Miami. So, Coach, the Power 5 schools here in the state of Florida, still relatively new coaching staffs for them. But, Coach, you take a look at it. They're sitting here right next to each other for the 2020 recruiting class. They're sitting here, Florida at number 5, Miami at number 6, Florida State at number 7. That's how they rank out in the top 20 ranking classes there for ESPN. But, Coach, you take a look at this. What is the state of football right now between these three programs? Obviously, Florida's a team that, they went to the Peach Bowl last year, were able to win the Peach Bowl. They got to 10 wins. That was a big turnaround for them. Florida State's been down. Miami's kind of been middle of the pack. We're not quite sure what we're going to get from them. But, Coach, what is the state of football for the state of Florida? Is it on the rise for one team, or do you maybe see that eventually all three of these teams will kind of get back to where they were?
Well, I think football overall has been in a state of turmoil the last few years in the state of Florida. And that's unfortunate, very unfortunate, because you've got a great recruiting area, one of the best in the country, if not the best. Outstanding programs, facilities, so on, blah, blah, blah. It's just, and you've got tradition now with all these schools, national championships and so on. With all three of the major schools. I just think it's coincidental, Jordan, that everything happened pretty much at the same time. You had the situation at Florida State. Things were not going very well. Jimbo's last year or two, he bailed and went to Texas A&M. And when he did, he didn't leave a whole heck of a lot there. Now, Florida, I think Florida really went downhill for quite a while there, even after Urban Meyer left. And, when you had national championships with Spurrier and with Urban Meyer, and then the expectations get to a certain point, and then all of a sudden it goes downhill. You get turmoil with the fans and with the alumni, and that tends to hurt your program because it hurts the amount of dollars coming in for recruiting and all the other things that you need it for. Now that's not the only thing. The coaching, I think, Michael Wayne had some problems, and the other Muschamp, I think, made some bad hires to begin with. Maybe was on the road to straighten it out, but it didn't last. So you just got to. There are a number of things. Usually, when something happens like this, as in a football game, it's usually not one thing that is the reason. It's the cumulative effect of quite a few issues coming to bear at the same time, and then all of a sudden you've got some problems. That's why you have to be so careful of every issue, every I dotted and every T crossed, and that's why Belichick has such success at New England, because he does not let anything get out of hand. Now, if you call that overbearing on his part, call it whatever you want, it's success.
No, you are absolutely right on that, Coach. So we'll continue to keep an eye out and see what happens. But right now, Coach, the state of Florida is not exactly where they're used to being when it comes to football.
Now they'll be back, Jordan.
They will.
Don't worry about that. They'll be back, and I think you should see what's happening now with recruiting. There's no question they'll all respond.
All right, Coach. Well, let's continue here now. We've got some NFL to talk about as, again, the Raiders have signed Richie Incognito, just in case you missed the top of the show, signed him to a one-year deal. Coach, there's another article on this one's actually on NFL.com that I wanted to kind of go over here. And I know we're going to have Mike Vaccaro coming up in just a few minutes at 12:15 on Talk Football, so we'll get to him in just a couple of minutes. But, Coach, there's an interesting article on NFL.com. They go team by team throughout the NFL, and they ask one hot topic question for each team. I want to kind of go through some of these that some of the fans in this area might be paying attention to. Coach, we'll start with the Miami Dolphins. Obviously, arguably they made one of the biggest steals in the draft by using that number 2 overall pick to trade for Josh Rosen. Coach, the question for them is, Josh Rosen, will he get the starting job day one to start off the season? And if he does, what will that mean for the quote-unquote fish tank, which is what has been labeled for the possibility of Miami tanking for Tua Tagovailoa in next year's draft?
No, forget about this tanking. That's absolutely ridiculous for anybody. I would be ashamed or embarrassed for anybody if they even thought that. Now, I don't know whether he's going to start the first game or not. He will end up starting this year, and he's going to be a good quarterback for him. If he were in this year's draft, many of the scouts, many I've talked to, which I brought up on the show, had said that he would be the number 1 quarterback this year, ahead of the Tyler Murray and all the rest of them. He will be the starting quarterback there, and you were right. It is a steal. That was a steal for Miami to get him with that second pick, and that would have never happened under any other circumstances. But this year, how crazy it went out there at Arizona. But I don't know. They got the old vet there who's going to look good in camp, and he's going to look good the first of the season. They may end up starting him for a game or two, and let Rosen get a little more comfortable with everything. He'll end up starting there. I don't know if he'll start the first game. He could start the first game, depending on preseason.
All right, Coach, let's move on now to our next question for the New England Patriots. Who's going to be coaching the defense? And, Coach, honestly, with Bill Belichick as the head coach, does it really even matter?
Bill Belichick has always coached the defense. He's always been the defensive coordinator, and that's never changed. Whoever the defensive coordinator is name only. They just carry out the game plan that Belichick gets ready for him.
All right, Coach, and one final question before we head to break and get ready for Mike to join us here on Talk Football. Coach, take a look at the Cincinnati Bengals. Obviously, Zach Taylor's coming in as the new head coach, and this is kind of an offseason to where we saw a lot of people start to make those moves towards a Sean McVay-type coach, obviously with Cliff Kingsbury going to the Arizona Cardinals, Zach Taylor going to the Cincinnati Bengals. Coach, should we expect an offense in Cincinnati, maybe not the same productivity level, but at least looking similar to that of Sean McVay's? Do you think that, we've talked about the NFL being a copycat league before. Do you think we're going to see a very similar offense on what we've seen the Rams run the past couple of seasons there in Cincinnati with Zach Taylor?
An exact replica, no. I don't think that could happen both because of personnel and because of the difference in philosophical approaches to the game. But I'm sure it'll be similar. It'll be similar now. It's similar in the respect that they call it pretty much the same, and they will try to duplicate the patterns and the blocking schemes up front and that type thing. I'm not sure about the defenses, how much that the carryover there'll be there, but offensively there will be some pattern there. But now the success difference could be tremendous.
Right.
And my guess is it will be quite different. Cincinnati's not going to be as successful by any stretch as the Rams are.
All right, Coach. Well, I'll tell you what. We'll take our first time out when we come back. Mike Vaccaro from the New York Post will be joining us here, talking a little football, maybe even a little baseball. You never know. He does cover the Yankees as well. So it'll be coming up next right here on Talk Football with Coach K. If you've got any questions for Mike that you would like for us to ask him, text them right now to our text line at 850-972-1945. Again, it's 850-972-1945. We'll take a quick time out. When we come back, Mike Vaccaro from the New York Post will join us on Talk Football with Coach K on ESPN Pensacola 94.5.
Your bank, your family, and your friends love you, but they don't have the money to help you. Sometimes we have chances to make money, but the old saying, you've got to have money to make money, rings true. At Pensacola Specialty Pond, we can help. If you have trucks, heavy equipment, airplanes, boats, jet skis, anything with value, Pensacola Specialty Pond can loan you that short-term money you need. No credit checks, and at Pensacola Specialty Pond, you're going to find the money and the discretion you need.
Now at 6428 Pensacola Boulevard, north of Car City. Call 432-9050, 432-9050.
Wings are now on Beef O'Brady's 2 for $20 deal. Wings?
Wings. Bigger bang, same buck. Pick a starter plus 2 entrees. Like 10 of Beef's famous wings, still $20. 2 for $20. Worth every penny.
Tower, this is Alpha Squad. Something smells mighty good up here. Who's hungry? Over.
Beef's 2 for $20. Pick a starter and 2 entrees. Like Beef's new chicken tender Parmesan skillet, still just $20.
I'm attorney Stephen Luongo with Levin, Papantonio, Thomas, Mitchell, Rafferty, and Proctor in Pensacola, Florida. Distracted driving is a dangerous epidemic on America's roadways. In 2016 alone, over 3,000 people were killed in motor vehicle crashes involving distracted drivers. This according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. For more information, please visit us today online at levinlaw.com. Please be safe on the roadways. Stop the text, stop the wrecks.
When you're looking for a great deal on a reliable new or certified pre-owned vehicle, you can't beat Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola. Bob Tyler Toyota has the best selection in town at incredible low prices. You can check out their amazing inventory from Camrys to Tundra trucks to 4Runners. It's all at Bob Tyler Toyota, and you can find it online at bobtylertoyota.com. Also score a touchdown this football season with the car of your dreams. Again, it's only at Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola.
If you're a small business owner, there's no better place to find the impact hire to help your business than LinkedIn. LinkedIn Jobs takes the time to learn more about who you're looking for and then recommends qualified candidates from their community of engaged and career-minded people, candidates who you likely won't be able to reach anywhere else. The truth is, over 70% of the U.S. workforce is on LinkedIn, and posting your job on LinkedIn gives you the best chance of finding and starting a conversation with your next star recruit. It's no surprise a new hire is made every 8 seconds using LinkedIn. So build your winning team by posting a job on LinkedIn and visit linkedin.com/sports to get $50 off your first job post. That's linkedin.com/sports for $50 off your first job post. linkedin.com/sports. Terms and conditions apply.
Don't drop the ball this football season. Make Tom Thumb your game day destination. We are your first round pick for snacks, chips, dips, and drinks. Are you tailgating before the game? Don't get blindsided. Head to Tom Thumb for all your supplies. Score big savings with our rewards card. You'll earn 4 fuel points for every dollar spent in store. From hot dogs and buns to ice and propane, Tom Thumb has you covered to help you enjoy the game. For the ultimate game day, team up with Tom Thumb, the local store for local champions.
ESPN Pensacola 94.5, also on your HD radio at HD2 98.7 WYCT, and streaming on our website at ESPNpensacola.com. Welcome back into Talk Football with Coach K. I'm Jordan Glass, joined alongside me as always, Coach K. And of course, we are hanging out here. If you want to be a part of the show and talk football with us, you can do so. 972-1945, 972-1945. That is both our studio call line and our studio text line. So if you don't want to call, you don't want to go out over the air, you can also text us at 972-1945. The only thing we ask, if you do text us, leave your name and where you're listening from with your question or statement so we can give you the proper credit you deserve for being a part of today's show. All right, Coach, let's continue taking a look at some of these questions for some of these other teams here inside the NFL, and we're continuing to work to try to get Mike Vaccaro on with us here, and as soon as we get him, we'll get him on the air. But, Coach, let's move to the Indianapolis Colts now. It's a team we've talked about before, a team that you're really impressed with what they were able to do in the offseason. Coach, their big offseason question coming into 2019 is, can they take that next step? They've made the moves. They've got Andrew Luck at quarterback. They've got the right coaching staff in place, it seems like. Can they take that next step, Coach?
Well, yes, absolutely they can. And you know, I'm very high on the Colts. Obviously, Frank Reich, the head coach there, is just a great guy. I think the world of him. I drafted him as a quarterback out of Maryland to Buffalo. And he's a student of the game. He's a winner. Two greatest comebacks of all time, college and pro. He was responsible for Maryland's comeback win over Miami years ago, and Buffalo's comeback win over Houston. So, at any rate, I think that's a very, very strong situation for the Colts. And I think they have one of the better quarterbacks in the National Football League in Andrew Luck. I think they've drafted extremely well. That offensive line held up last year. The offensive line will be better this year. Now, it's hard to believe, but they will be better in the offensive line this year than they were last year, and they were outstanding last year. They've helped themselves in the draft, defensively certainly, by a great deal. I think they're going to be a team to contend with. I think they'll be right in the playoff picture. They'll be in there.
All right, Coach, how about the next team here on the list? Jacksonville, another team we've talked about here in the offseason. Coach, is Nick Foles enough there at that quarterback position to get things turned around offensively for the Jaguars?
I think so. I think all they needed to do was keep that offense settled down and reduce the turnovers, get some confidence in what they're doing, and keep the chains moving some. Keep that defense fresh and off the field. They've got a good defense. If they come back as strong and as prepared as they were defensively 2 years ago, with Foles at quarterback, I think you're going to see a drastic turnaround at Jacksonville. That is my projection. Now, I may be wrong. That this is one team that could go up or down because of the collapse they had last year. That's not good when you have a collapse like that. And whether there's some carryover or not, we're going to find out pretty early in the season. But Jacksonville's a team that I think really going to make a comeback.
All right, Coach, our next question here for the Tennessee Titans, it's going to be, can Marcus Mariota stave off extinction? Now, obviously, you look at the Tennessee Titans, they bring in a guy like Ryan Tannehill. Didn't get much done at the Miami Dolphins. He didn't even play a full season healthy with the Miami Dolphins. He was injured every single year and missed time because of that injury. But, Coach, he's now with the Tennessee Titans, more than likely expected to be the backup to Marcus Mariota. But, Coach, you look at Marcus Mariota, he's a guy he's getting to that time in his career where you've got to have success now or else things are going to start trending down for you. And with Ryan Tannehill right there as a backup, Coach, that's going to put even more pressure on him.
Yeah, I don't see Tennessee as being, even though I think Mike Vrabel does a good job there as the head coach, but I just don't see Tennessee being a viable contender. I really don't. I don't think they're totally set at the quarterback position, and I think there's some other wants on their football team they have not had a chance to address, and I just don't see it. I think there are too many other strong teams for them to contend with.
All right, Coach, how about the Denver Broncos from the AFC West? To take a look at their question, how long will it take for the rookie in Drew Lock to overtake Joe Flacco? And, Coach, this is a question that immediately when Drew Lock was drafted by the Broncos, people started wondering, people started asking, how much longer could Joe Flacco continue to play? We saw it happen last year. Lamar Jackson overtook him in Baltimore. Could we see something similar with Denver?
Oh, yeah, certainly we could. A lot of it's going to depend on how he operates in camp and in the preseason. But I think their intent going in is to have him sit this year and watch Flacco. I think they brought Flacco in for a reason, and that reason is to get them back into contention. And if they can get their defense playing, they're a lot like Jacksonville. They get that defense. They've got some people that can sack the quarterback over there, and they've got a good defense. If they can get back to the consistency that they had defensively 2-3 years ago, with Flacco at quarterback, they could be pretty good. But Locke could end up winning that position, certainly if there's any. You know how often, Flacco's pretty much a sitting duck back there, which means he's going to take a lot of licks in that pocket. So he could get injured very easily back there, especially at his tender age.
All right, Coach, how about the Kansas City Chiefs? You take a look at this, the amount of people that they've lost, whether it was Hunt early in the season last year and the situation there with him now at Cleveland, the situation with Tyreek Hill a couple of months ago around the NFL draft. He's no longer with the team and allowed to participate with the team. Coach, you look at all the people that they lost on the defensive side of the ball. Yes, they're going to have Andy Reid back. Yes, they're going to have their star quarterback back his mind is completely escaped. Patrick Mahomes. Mine just was sitting on the tip of my tongue. Could not get it out for whatever reason. But they'll have Patrick Mahomes back. But, Coach, they'll also be without a lot. And, Coach, for the Kansas City Chiefs, it's going to be how will those losses impact them heading into 2019?
You're right. They had quite a few losses. And I tell you, the attrition rate there was higher than you would have ever expected, especially after the season that they had. But the speed that they lost, but then they drafted a kid that I think is supposed to be the fastest kid in college football. But again, I can't think of his name right now. But they're going to have a football team that I think is going to slide some. I don't think they're going to be quite as potent as they were last year, and but they're still going to be a good football team. Andy does a good job. I wouldn't hesitate to say that they're still going to be in contention. But I think they're a team that could slide some. Yeah.
All right, Coach, let's move now to some NFC teams inside the NFL. You take a look at the Dallas Cowboys here. Obviously, they're going to be having a new offensive coordinator, a new play caller, and it's going to be the former Boise State quarterback, Kellen Moore. He actually used to be a quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. Now he's taking the shoulder pads off, and he's going to be calling the plays for the Cowboys this year. Coach, what do you expect from Kellen Moore season one? Are they going to be able to find a little bit momentum from him, or is he going to have some growing pains because it's a year one for him, but he also is still familiar with that offensive system they run?
I don't care how familiar he is. They're going to be growing pains there, no doubt about it. And there's always been a contention there. I'm convinced that the head coach used to call the plays there, and I think he still wants to call the plays. I feel certain of that. I think he probably has an input into the game plan that would allow him to make changes during the game. I'm not certain of that, but I think it probably is the case. But at any rate, he's going to have an adjustment period. They're going to have an adjustment period with their offensive play calling, and hopefully they can get it squared away early enough because it's going to happen.
All right, Coach, how about the New York Giants? This would be a great question for Mike Vaccaro. We'll try to get him on once again during the next commercial break, see if we can fit him in on the show still today. But, Coach, for the New York Giants, where's the pass rush coming from? Because they're going to need a guy that's the main pass rusher for them on the defensive side of the ball. And right now, Coach, it's it's up in the air on who that's going to be.
Well, yeah, and I don't think we're going to get that answered until training camp, and maybe not even until the season starts, because I think what they're going to have to do is like some other teams have to do, they have to rush the passer by committee. And in other words, when they're going to come after the quarterback, they're going to have to commit some linebackers and defensive backs occasionally and come after him that way. They're going to be solid against the run. I'm convinced of that. They got a good draft choice. You're right. He's not recognized as a pass rusher right now, but they've got some people that can play, and I think they're going to have to rush the passer with their dogs and blitz, linebackers and defensive backs.
All right, Coach, let's head now to a same team in the same division there in the NFC East. How about the Washington Redskins, Coach, with Dwayne Haskins being drafted at that number 16 spot? Coach, do we see that era begin week one, or is it going to be a Case Keenum or a Colt McCoy for the Redskins starting up the year?
This is one where they're probably going to try to get Haskins ready to go, even though I think if they could, Case Keenum could end up having a pretty good year for him. He's certainly capable of, my gosh, 2 years ago, he had an outstanding year from Minnesota. Almost put him, went all the way with him. So I think they should give him every opportunity to put him in a good position with the playoffs and also to teach. That would be a great teaching situation for Haskins. But I really think they're going to try to get Haskins ready to play right away.
All right, Coach, let's head down to the NFC South, a division that a lot of people in this area are going to be keeping an eye on. The Atlanta Falcons, Coach, Dirk Koetter coming in. Obviously, he was the Tampa Bay head coach the past few seasons. Now he's coming in, taking over the offensive coordinator position for the Atlanta Falcons. What can we expect? Dirk Koetter is going to have a lot of weapons there in Atlanta. What can we expect from that offensive scheme?
Well, they're crazy if they do too much differently, because Atlanta's been very potent offensively. It's defensively where they're having their problems. If they have any help at all defensively, they go all the way. I'm very, very, very impressed with their offensive talent, Jordan, the people that they can put on the field. Think about in skill positions, from the quarterback to the receivers to the backs. I mean, they put an all-star team out there,
right,
on offense. So don't get up there and try to reinvent the wheel now. You probably got a quarterback who could do a better job coaching the offense than Koetter. But so we don't need any prior authorship. Just go up there and do what you need to do to help them get back to doing what they do best.
All right, Coach. Well, we're taking another timeout. When we come back, we'll try to get Mike Vaccaro on with us here on Talk Football with Coach K. And if not, we'll just continue to talk some football, some NFL and college news here on ESPN Pensacola 94.5.
I'm attorney Stephen Luongo with Levin, Papantonio, Thomas, Mitchell, Rafferty, and Proctor in Pensacola, Florida. Distracted driving is a dangerous epidemic on America's roadways. In 2016 alone, over 3,000 people were killed in motor vehicle crashes involving distracted drivers. This according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. For more information, please visit us today online at levinlaw.com. Please be safe on the roadways. Stop the text, stop the wrecks.
When you're looking for a great deal on a reliable new or certified pre-owned vehicle, you can't beat Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola. Bob Tyler Toyota has the best selection in town at incredible low prices. You can check out their amazing inventory from Camrys to Tundra trucks to 4Runners. It's all at Bob Tyler Toyota, and you can find it online at bobtylertoyota.com. Also score a touchdown this football season with the car of your dreams. Again, it's only at Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola.
Wings are now on Beef O'Brady's 2 for $20 deal. Wings?
Wings. Bigger bang, same buck. Pick a starter plus 2 entrees. Like 10 of Beef's famous wings, still $20. 2 for $20. Worth every penny.
Tower, this is Alpha Squad. Something smells mighty good up here. Who's hungry? Over.
Beef's 2 for $20. Pick a starter and 2 entrees. Like Beef's new chicken tender Parmesan skillet, still just $20.
You could win free fuel for a year in the Shell Great Gas giveaway. Fuel Rewards members are automatically entered every time they purchase 8 gallons or more. And if you choose new Shell V-Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline, you get 4 entries. So, it's time to fill up for a chance to win. Not a member? To join, download the app or go to fuelrewards.com/win. No purchase necessary. Motion ends 9/1/19. See official rules at fuelrewards.com/win for how to enter by mail and all details.
Cuando eres un pro, tu reputación se construye y mantiene a través del tiempo, como el pegamento Loctite PL Premium Max que está en The Home Depot. Es el más poderoso en todo el mercado. Durable, hace un muy buen trabajo y como buen pegamento pro se mantiene a través del tiempo. Ahora, llévate 12 o más a precio mayorista por solo $7.97 cada uno. Loctite PL Premium Max. Más resistencia, durabilidad y un trabajo bien hecho por menos. En The Home Depot, haz más, ahorrando. Requiere un mínimo de compra solo en los Estados Unidos.
Hello, sports fans. Miles Bentley here, General Manager at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Pensacola. Growing up, I always loved sports. Nothing but net, out of the park, through the uprights. Sink the puck Bentley, that was me. But my love of the game couldn't beat my love for Pensacola and helping folks get on the road of dreams in a new Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Sure, I never went to the big leagues in sport, but we're all pro here at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Proud to be in Pensacola.
ESPN Pensacola 94.5, also on your HD radio at HD2 98.7 WYCT, and streaming on our website, ESPNpensacola.com. Welcome back into Talk Football with Coach K. I'm Jordan Glass, joined alongside me as always, Coach K. And we are hanging out here talking some football today. And Coach, I want to transition now from the NFL to college football and take a look at another schedule here on the list for us. And we're going to go with the South Carolina Gamecocks. Coach, their 2019 schedule is going to get started August 31st at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina. Coach, it's going to be South Carolina taking on North Carolina. You got to think with this game in Charlotte, it's going to be a little bit of a home game for the Tar Heels.
Well, yes, it will be, and this is an interesting game with Mack Brown against Muschamp. Muschamp was the coach in waiting at Texas at one time before Florida hired him, and but he's worked with Mack Brown before.
That's right.
So they know each other pretty well, and I think you got to almost give the edge here to, even though it's almost a home game for North Carolina, and I think they're going to be a good football team under Mack Brown, but they won't be back all the way by the first game. So I think you got to give the edge to South Carolina there. I think during the year, North Carolina will improve drastically during the year.
All right, Coach, we'll head now to their second game, September 7th. They'll be taking on Charleston Southern. The Buccaneers coming to William Bryce Stadium there in Columbia.
Oh, my. These are the type games I think they're trying to weed out of college football. But, yeah, this is one of those games, if they don't win this, they're all gone. They'll be packed up after the game and gone.
All right, Coach. Alabama coming up on September 14th. Going to be one of the either number 1 or number 2 in the country at this point in the season. They're going to be heading into Williams-Brice Stadium. Coach, last time Alabama went in with that top spot in the rankings, South Carolina was able to pull the upset. It's not quite the same South Carolina team with Stephen Garcia and Marcus Lattimore. But, Coach, can South Carolina keep it close at home?
They're going to keep it close for the first maybe half. Maybe 3 quarters, but I don't think they can beat Alabama, even if they're at home. But that's going to be a crucial game for Alabama to see what kind of football team they have. Because South Carolina's going to play them tough, and Muschamp now has another year to better that defense. I think they've got a pretty good crew coming back, and also he's got plenty of time to work on Alabama to get ready for them.
All right, Coach. How about we head now September 21st, Missouri. This will be in Como, so it's going to be in Columbia, but this time Columbia, Missouri at Faurot Field. South Carolina 2-1 on the year, heading in to take on the Tigers.
Yeah, they should beat Missouri. Missouri's not going to be able to recoup, I don't think, too much from their losses. They just can't afford a talent drain like they had this year, and expect to be competitive in the Southeastern Conference. So this should be a win for South Carolina going in there.
All right, Coach. And moving on now, they will head to back home to Williams-Brice Stadium, where they'll welcome in the Kentucky Wildcats.
That's going to be a heck of a football game. That's one of those right now, as you look at it, as I look at it, it's a coin toss. Let's give South Carolina the home field advantage. Is about all we can do here in giving anybody an advantage. Plus, I think South Carolina win. Both coaches doing a good job, but I think South Carolina wins the quarterback position here as well. So give them the win here.
All right, Coach. Well, that will head into their week off, and we do need to say that as we're talking about their week off here and there's not a game, we do need to say that this week is going to be SEC meetings in the spring meetings in Destin. So the coaches will be in Destin later on this week. I believe most of them are arriving today, and they'll be out there. And I bring this up because as we're doing these schedules, we'll actually find out the first 3 or 4 weeks the TV times for those schedules. So that'll kind of will change some things as well for some of these games. But, Coach, their off week occurring on October 5th for South Carolina before they have to head to Sanford Stadium, a very tough test against the Georgia Bulldogs.
Yeah, very tough test is right. At Georgia. I don't see how South Carolina can go in and survive that. You got to say Georgia's got a tremendous edge there in that football game, especially being at home.
All right, Coach. At this point in the year, South Carolina 4-2 as we see it. Their only losses to teams that are probably going to be in the top 5 in Georgia and Alabama. That would probably make South Carolina sitting around the top 15 as they welcome in the Florida Gators on October 19th.
Gosh, what a big win this would be for Muschamp. You know, South Carolina tends to end up with Florida coaches up there. I'd love to get their win against the Gators. But, yeah, you know, you almost got to think this is a game Florida Florida should win, and road win would be big for them here. It's going to be tough, but I think Florida, you got to give this game to Florida right now, just based on the talent edge and the depth on the football team.
All right, Coach, and they'll head on the road to Neyland Stadium to take on the Tennessee Volunteers.
Yeah, we did Tennessee, and I'm not sure. Again, this is right now. This is looking almost like a coin toss because I think Tennessee improved last year. This is on into the season. This is mid-season form they should be in.
Right
here, they're at home. It's a big SEC game. Guys, they could easily win this football game, even though I think South Carolina is probably a little more talented than is Tennessee right now. And that could change, but I tell you what, let's give Tennessee a win there.
All right, Coach, that evens their record up at 4-4 as they head back home to Williams-Brice Stadium and they welcome in the Vanderbilt Commodores.
Yeah, well, again, Vanderbilt plays everybody tough, and we say that, and people say, well, don't say that anymore. So-and-so plays tough. They all play tough. Yeah, I know that. But Vanderbilt is, in particular, they do a very good job. I think South Carolina should win that football game, and this is one that they've got circled that they should win. So let's give South Carolina the win there.
All right, Coach. Then they'll stay at home November 9th, Appalachian State. Look, they knocked off Michigan a few years ago. Could they come into Williams-Brice Stadium and pull off an upset over South Carolina?
Yeah, South Carolina better be on guard here because that could certainly happen, no doubt about it. They've got some rough things coming up, so they could be looking ahead very easily, and if they do, they've got some. Look at the games they've got coming up. I mean, it's tough. But if they're looking ahead, they could get beat here and really have a terrible season. But they should win this ball game. Let's give them a win at home here against Appalachian State.
All right, Coach, and you mentioned that tough stretch, and honestly, I don't know if there's a tougher 2 out of 3 weeks of a season than this one right here, as they will go to Kyle Field to take on the Texas A&M Aggies on November 16th.
Yeah, you got to give Texas A&M the advantage here. Big advantage at home. I think it's Texas A&M, and I don't know how South Carolina can do anything to stop it.
All right, Coach. Then they'll have November 23rd off to kind of rest and recoup before hosting the Clemson Tigers.
Yeah, well, I think we all know how that's probably going to go. Clemson, that's this would not be a difficult game on Clemson's radar. So that's the only chance that South Carolina, I think, has, is if Clemson doesn't address this game in the right manner, and they get beat. But I don't see that happening.
All right, Coach. So we have South Carolina for the 2019 season heading in at 6-6 on the year.
Yeah, I see. I could see that South Carolina being a 6-6 football team. And then as you go through the schedule here, again, it gives you a better chance to truly look at what they've got facing them. And we've got a pretty good idea of the talent level of that South Carolina football team. Now, Muschamp, I should say, Muschamp has been very positive about this year, has been extremely optimistic. So he knows something. And he's been around enough that he knows if they've got some firepower, they've got a little depth. The big thing is that last thing, depth. They may be better with their starting people, but if they don't have the depth in an SEC schedule, that eventually kills you because you gotta put those other people in there, and if they can't play, they're going to get hurt.
All right, Coach. Well, I'll tell you what. We've got enough time here on today's show to take a look at another schedule. So let's stick with the theme of the Carolinas here, and we'll switch to the ACC and take a look at North Carolina's schedule. We'll knock that one out real quick here on Talk Football. Coach, again, we talked about it. South Carolina, a game we talked about a moment ago. You gave the win to South Carolina, so we'll just go ahead and put that one down as a loss for North Carolina and move on to September 7th when they'll be at Chapel Hill for their first real home game of the season at Kenan Memorial Stadium, taking on the Miami Hurricanes.
Miami schedule, and I've got an upset here. I got North Carolina. I think with an upset here over Miami at home. Miami with all the influx of new coaches and new quarterback and what they went through last year. Then going on the road. Mike Brown, of what he's had a chance to do at North Carolina. Yeah, I've got North Carolina there.
All right, Coach. Then on September 13th, that is Friday the 13th, as a matter of fact, they will be playing a 6 o'clock Eastern time game, so a 5 o'clock time, local time game on ESPN against Wake Forest Demon Deacons. So, Coach, taking on the Demon Deacons on Friday the 13th. Could North Carolina be in for some trouble here?
They could. They certainly could, but I don't see it. The thing that's surprising is in the SEC or the ACC, anywhere in the South, really other than the Miami tradition from years ago, it's just sacrilegious to play on Friday. And the reason colleges didn't play on Friday is because they left that open for high school football, and they didn't want to step on anybody's toes in high school, just like the pros play on Sunday and not on Saturday because they leave that for the colleges. Now, the pros got games every other night, Thursday night, Sunday night, and Monday night. But that's a little odd to me. They're playing on Friday night.
All right, Coach. So 2-1 after this game against Wake Forest. Good start for Mac Brown year one back at North Carolina. Coach, they'll head in to a home game against Appalachian State.
Yeah, I think he'll have them ready. He's not going to let Appalachian State. He's too good a football coach. He won't let them slip up on him.
All right, Coach. They'll stay home this time, but it's going to be a tough game against the Clemson Tigers there at Kenan Memorial Stadium in Chapel Hill.
Yeah, well, they won't. He can't get them ready for that one. So that'll be a Clemson win. And well, I'll tell you, you don't think Mac Brown and that staff have a circle around Appalachian State right now? Yes, they've got to win that ball game. No doubt about it.
All right, Coach, we'll head into their next game October 5th. Jeff Collins and the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, another first-year head coach inside the ACC. They'll be hosting them at Bobby Dodd Stadium there in Atlanta, Georgia. So, Coach, Georgia Tech and North Carolina coming up October 5th.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised at all to see North Carolina go in there and beat Georgia Tech.
Okay.
This is almost mid-season now. They've had a chance to really get the system down, ready to go. Yeah, they go in. They got a good chance to win that ball game.
And you got to think the Tar Heels are feeling good. 4-2 heading into their off week, October 12th. That's when they'll head into Lane Stadium to take on the Virginia Tech Hokies in Blacksburg.
That will be a tough one. That's going to be a very, very difficult time for them. Yes, I think. You got to say that Virginia Tech probably holds court here. Virginia Tech probably pulls this one out and wins it.
All right, Coach, and now we'll head to October 26th. The Duke Blue Devils will head to Chapel Hill. This is the rivalry between North Carolina and Duke. They'll be playing. The winner gets to spray paint that bell, Coach, and who's going to get to spray paint it this year?
Well, you got to think North Carolina, certainly by this time, will be ready to beat Duke at home. So you got to give them a win here.
All right, Coach, and then they'll stay home on November 2nd, welcoming the Virginia Cavaliers.
That's tough. Virginia's going to be good this year. I think you got to give them a loss there. I think Virginia takes that one.
All right, Coach. Then they'll have their second off week of the season before heading to Heinz Field in Pittsburgh, taking on the Pitt Panthers.
Pitt's going to be a pretty good football team. To me, it's a coin flip right now, but I'm going to say Pitt at home would have to have the edge here.
And that is going to be, by the way, a late Thursday night, 7 o'clock kickoff, a late season Thursday night kickoff there on ESPN. So
could be cold.
It could be cold, and they'll be competing with a Thursday night NFL game for that night as well. All right, Coach, our next game coming up, the Mercer Bears on November 23rd.
Oh, my goodness. I didn't know Mercer had a team. No, that's not fair. That's not even fair. So North Carolina wins that one.
All right, Coach. And then finally, they'll wrap it up with their in-state rivalry against NC State at Carter Finley Stadium in Raleigh.
You know, North Carolina could beat North Carolina State this year because North Carolina State had quite a bit of talent loss, quarterback, offensive lineman, two of them, a couple of defensive kids. I don't think they can sustain that. So I'm going to give that to North Carolina. Big win for North Carolina.
Big win for North Carolina, Coach, and a big year for Mack Brown. If it goes this way, if I did my math correctly, I believe we have them at 8-4 year one under Mack Brown. That's a big step up what they were from a year ago.
If they go 8-4, he'll be crowned king up there. They may not go 8-4. We may be a little too generous with them, but it'll be a much better year for him, no doubt about that.
All right, Coach. Well, I'll tell you what. Well, let's take our final time out of the show. When we come back, more Talk Football with Coach K coming up right after this on ESPN Pensacola 94.5.
When you're looking for a great deal on a reliable new or certified pre-owned vehicle, you can't beat Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola. Bob Tyler Toyota has the best selection in town at incredible low prices. You can check out their amazing inventory from Camrys to Tundra trucks to 4Runners. It's all at Bob Tyler Toyota, and you can find it online at bobtylertoyota.com. Also score a touchdown this football season with the car of your dreams. Again, it's only at Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola.
There's only one place in town for the lowest prices and greatest selection of firearms. Pensacola Indoor Shooting Range. Visit our fully stocked Gun Pro shop for new and used firearms, accessories, and ammunition. Check out the Indoor Shooting Range. We offer rentals on guns, including fully automatic machine guns and silencers. Ladies, this is the safe place to learn how to use a gun. Plus, Tuesday is Ladies' Day. Women shoot for half price all day. The best place to buy firearms in Pensacola. Pensacola Indoor Shooting Range. Highway 29 in Car City.
Wings are now on Beef O'Brady's 2 for $20 deal. Wings?
Wings. Bigger bang, same buck. Pick a starter plus 2 entrees. Like 10 of Beef's famous wings, still $20. 2 for $20. Worth every penny.
Tower, this is Alpha Squad. Something smells mighty good up here. Who's hungry? Over.
Beef's 2 for $20. Pick a starter and 2 entrees. Like Beef's new chicken tender Parmesan skillet, still just $20.
I'm attorney Stephen Luongo with Levin, Papantonio, Thomas, Mitchell, Rafferty, and Proctor in Pensacola, Florida. Distracted driving is a dangerous epidemic on America's roadways. In 2016 alone, over 3,000 people were killed in motor vehicle crashes involving distracted drivers. This according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. For more information, please visit us today online at levinlaw.com. Please be safe on the roadways. Stop the text, stop the wrecks.
Hello, sports fans. Miles Bentley here, General Manager at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Pensacola. Growing up, I always loved sports. Nothing but net, out of the park, through the uprights. Sink the puck, Bentley. That was me. But my love of the game couldn't beat my love for Pensacola and helping folks get on the road of dreams in a new Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Sure, I never went to the big leagues in sport, but we're all pro here at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Proud to be in Pensacola.
Don't drop the ball this football season. Make Tom Thumb your game day destination. We are your first round pick for snacks, chips, dips, and drinks. If you're tailgating before the game, don't get blindsided. Head to Tom Thumb for all your supplies. Score big savings with our rewards card. You'll earn 4 fuel points for every $1 spent in store. From hot dogs and buns to ice and propane, Tom Thumb has you covered to help you enjoy the game. For the ultimate game day, team up with Tom Thumb, the local store for local champions.
Welcome back into Talk Football with Coach K on ESPN Pensacola 94.5, where we're also on your HD radio at HD2 98.7 WYCT and streaming on our website, ESPNpensacola.com. I'm Jordan Glass, joined alongside me as always, Coach K, and we are rolling through today's show. And if you want to be a part of the last 5 or 6 minutes of it here, you can call us at 972-1945, 972-1945. You can also text at that number as well, so 972-1945 as well. Just let us know who you are and where you're listening from so we can give you the proper shout-out you deserve for being a part of Talk Football with Coach K. All right, Coach, diving back into some other NFL news, some other headlines from around the world of football. Coach, Ndamukong Suh believes he can be what the Buccaneers need to help put them over the top. I'm going to go out on a limb for this, and I'm going to say it's false. That this is just Ndamukong Suh being a little high on himself in this situation, because this is a guy that, is he a quality defensive lineman? Yes. Is he going to be able to provide some productivity? Yes. But he's not what he used to be when he was with the Detroit Lions, and even then he wasn't exactly the known for the best type of play inside the NFL. But, Coach, this is a guy that he's getting past his prime. He's starting to get into the last few years of his career, but also on the side of that, saying that you're the one guy that Tampa needs to get over the top. Maybe over the top defensively, I could maybe kind of listen to that argument, but overall, they need better play at the quarterback position. They need better play at the receiver and running back position, the offensive line position. There's a lot of different places that Tampa needs help at to get over the top.
Well, there's no question about that. And you're right, he's not the player he used to be. And even when he had the chance to be outstanding, he passed on that and went about it at his pace, which was not the winning pace, the NFL pace. But he was a hot commodity at that time, and he knew it. And so now he's out begging for a job. Basically, that's what it is. I mean, and people are going to be very reluctant. Listen, when he was with the Rams last year, and I thought that would be a tremendous fit, especially because Wade Phillips could handle him. If Wade gave up on him that quick and they put him on the street, he's bearing bad news. There's no question about that. I think anybody would be very silly to pick him up.
All right, Coach, and we do have some word from Minnesota here. It's Kirk Cousins. They drafted a center for him in Garrett Bradbury, a guy that you and I both were very high on coming out of North Carolina State. Coach, you take a look at it, and this is a guy that you look Kirk Cousins, he's really excited about this. He says he's a smart kid, and he's looking forward to being out there and getting some long time with him, being able to work one-on-one with each other and continue to progress this relationship with Coach. It's it's going to be interesting to see. What do you think? Do you think we see Garrett Bradbury early in the season, Coach, or do you think it's going to be a situation where they're going to slowly work him into this offense and make sure he's perfectly ready? Because if you get him back there when he's not ready, this could be some issues for Kirk Cousins in this offense with some snaps and things like that. So, Coach, do you think we see them take their time with Garrett Bradbury, or does this sound like with the way Kirk Cousins is talking about, we could see him right away game one?
Oh, I think you see him game one in spades. There's no question about it. He'll be there. I don't think that's even close, to be honest with you.
All right. Well, that is all the time we have for on today's show. Thank you so much for tuning in to Talk Football with Coach K. For Coach K, I'm Jordan Glass. You guys have a great Tuesday. We'll talk to you tomorrow right here on ESPN Pensacola 94.5. Don't forget, Sports Drive is coming up later on this afternoon at 5. You got the Stephen A. Smith Show coming up next.
This is Pensacola's hometown all-sports station and home of the Blue Wahoos, ESPN Pensacola 94.5. Catch all the Wahoos games home and away all season, plus all the latest Wahoos news from Chad Brilliante on the Sports Drive, 5 till game time weeknights. And hey, if your business would like to partner with us as an advertiser or with a local sports promotion, then give us a call at 850-262-6000 or shoot us an email from the advertise page on ESPNpensacola.com.